Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final Football Friday edition of Palmetto Sports Daily for 2025. I'm Rick Henry, holding it down in Columbia. And I've got Summer Hector in Charleston and Ella Grogan in the upstate in Greenville. Yeah, just me and the ladies today. Hey, state championship, the weekend of championships. All the state championship games are taking place in Orangeburg. The first game kicked off at noon. And now tonight at 7:30, we've got the 5A Division II state championship. That's our game of the week as Irmo and Northwestern meet in a championship game rematch. Northwestern won last year, but both teams very, very strong again. And then tomorrow night at 7:30, got Dutch Fork, number one in my Midlands top 10. Irmo is number two. Dutch Fork going against Somerville for the 5A Division I state championship. Dutch Fork, they're going for their fourth consecutive state championship. And also, if Tom Knotts wins, he will tie the record for the most state championships in school history, well, in state history, at 10. Summer, what are you expecting from Somerville tomorrow night?
Yeah, Rick, I mean, this Somerville team has been itching to win another state championship. Overall, they have 12 state titles, won mostly under the legendary John McKissick at Somerville, but they actually haven't won a state title since 1998. So actually, the year I was born. So it's kind of crazy to think about that. But Somerville, you know, last year I think they thought was their big chance to win state, and they fell to Dutch Fork in the state title game. Obviously, they had a quarterback in Jaden Cummings who was leading that program. This year, actually, the first few games of the season, Somerville was rotating two quarterbacks, so they were still trying to figure out who it was. But this team, they have two losses on the season. But ever since that regular season loss to Ashley Ridge, it seemed like this team flipped a switch. I mean, their head coach Ian Rafferty told me after that loss to their crosstown rivals in Ashley Ridge that this team was a little bit embarrassed, and he said that was their motivation. We saw them bounce back, beat Ashley Ridge in playoffs, and then just last week they took down James Island 45-16, and this was a team they only beat by one possession earlier in the season. So that's the perfect indication of how this team has grown this season. They've got, like I said, quarterback Max Stafford in there, won that job stepping in there, but he's got one of the best receivers, I think, in the state in Jaden Kelly Murray. He's got great running backs, Javen Williams, Cam Grayson, also in there running the ball for them. But what's been really key for Somerville these last few weeks has been their defense. They've dominated out there, and I think that's interesting because I know you told me last week that Dutch Fork has a stellar defense too. So it's going to be interesting to see who battles out there and see who can score more points. But I talked to Somerville head coach Ian Rafferty earlier in the week. He actually played at Somerville under the legendary John McKissick, but last year was his first time leading Somerville to a state title game. And here's what he said about heading into the state game this year.
Right now it feels about the same. I think last year flew by on me real fast, and so far this week's going by super slow. But it's a little bit easier because we know what to expect. We planning the logistics of everything is a little bit easier on me. Familiarity with the opponent it makes things a little bit easier. So it's been a little bit better so far.
Rick, I'm excited for this game tomorrow night. I think it's going to be an exciting one out there. I think this is one of Somerville's better chances to get that state title in a while, but obviously when you're facing Dutch Fork, they're going to be well coached. They're going to come to play. So I'm excited to see how they do it. I know today's quite rainy, not the best atmosphere out there, so I think all these teams might be hoping it'll be a little better on Saturday for them. But Rick, what have you seen out of Dutch Fork this season? I know they've kind of improved as the season's gone on too.
Yeah, they've only lost one game, and that was to Oceanside Collegiate, and that caught my attention for a number of reasons. One, Oceanside Collegiate must be really good, and also it's kind of shocking whenever Dutch Fork loses a game. You've got to really respect the job that Tom Knotts, the Dutch Fork head coach, has done. He arrived at Dutch Fork in 2010. The school had never even played for a state championship. Now they are going for their 10th state championship, and that would tie the all-time record along with John McKissick, and I forget who he's tied with. But here's what Coach Knotts had to say about, that record.
Well, it just means I'm old. I've been coaching a long time like Coach McKissick. But we, every year something different, every year something unique. We start in January. We've got a little program that we go through, and I think we do a good job of developing the young kids. We get them to buy in, and we feel like we're not a one and done team. We're a program that's continually. I feel like we're reloading. We've got 40 seniors, but I think we'll be in good shape next year.
Okay, Dutch Fork, they've already had a 5-peat, and tomorrow they'll be working on a 4-peat. And one of the leaders of that Dutch Fork defense is Julian Walker. And yesterday he signed with South Carolina after having been committed to Michigan since the summer. But his dad works at USC on the strength and conditioning staff. And here's what Julian and Coach Knotts had to say about his decision to join the Gamecocks.
Having Sterling Lucas as my edge coach, I've created a great relationship with Sterling. He's like family at this point. Him, Travion, Clayton, I've built a great relationship with Carolina's defensive staff, and I've enjoyed watching them play this season. They play with a type of hunger and a type of passion that, you look for in a team, and I'm excited to play for that.
Well, it's nice to see the homegrown product staying here at Clemson or South Carolina. I think Julian's family now calls this home. They've been a lot of different places in the country, lived a couple of different places, but this is home to him. I'm glad to see him stay home. South Carolina got a great player.
Yeah, Julian is 6'6", and once he fills out after getting on a college weight program, he's going to remind us a lot of Jadeveon Clowney, and that's a pretty good comparison to make. He leads Dutch Fork in tackles, and he's terror, putting pressure on the quarterbacks. Ella?
Listen, as an Ohio State fan, I am incredibly happy about this decision, but I also, just as a sports fan in general, to see someone go somewhere for the family purposes and not just for the money brings a lot of joy to my heart, and it makes me happy to hear. Rick, did you get that impression that he just felt like this was home to him and that was what mattered at the end of the day?
Right, but he really kept his cards, let's say, close to his chest, so to speak, because when I spoke to him last week and asked him about his commitment to Michigan, and he said, hey, go blue. And I think he was telling everyone that in interviews. But I kind of thought with his dad working at USC, that's got to be a strong pull. And he really gave a very heartfelt response about his decision to go and be with his dad because they have a great relationship and his dad means so much to him. So, yeah, it's really great to see. And that's going to do it for this segment of Palmetto Sports Daily. We'll take a quick time out, and we've got much more on the other side.
Welcome back in here to Palmetto Sports Daily. We talked about high school football championship weekend. This weekend also conference championships in college football, but college basketball just now heating up. And the Charleston Southern Buccaneers are off to quite a hot start to the season. They've been shooting lights out, but last night they took down Warren Wilson 124-63. And in that game, they made a program record 24 threes in that game. The previous record was 20 threes in a game, so shattering that record. And you got to mention in this one, it's actually their largest win margin since 2017. And then Caraway and Halfmeister combined for 7 threes. They also had 47 first half points just between those two guys there. You see that game right here. Charleston Southern playing well right now, and under their third season under Saw Nimley, who's a former Buccaneer. Quite the turnaround he's led for the Bucs. So it's been pretty cool to watch them. Going to be interesting to see how they do in Big South play once conference play gets going right after Christmas. But yeah, 24 made threes. Pretty exciting for Charleston Southern. Going to be exciting to see what they can do the rest of this season here. And the South Carolina Gamecocks men's basketball team has a nice matinee tomorrow against Stetson. Rick, what have you seen from the Gamecock men the last few weeks?
Okay, I just want to alert the two of you. I'm going to ask you a little trivia question about Stetson, okay? So I hope you got your thinking caps on today. All right, well, what have I seen from the Gamecocks? Well, they open up playing their first 5 games at home They were able to go 5-0, and since then they have lost 3 in a row. Their last outing was at home against Virginia Tech. At the end of regulation, as the clock is counting down, they're tied. Michi Johnson, a veteran player, he has the basketball. He's dribbling, can't get a shot off. And by the time he passes it, it's too late. The buzzer goes off. They go to overtime. Then in overtime, Gamecocks down by 2. Ball is in Michi's hands away. He takes an extra long three-pointer, clangs it. Vatek adds a free throw. South Carolina loses by 3. And so now they are 5-3, getting ready to entertain Stetson tomorrow. Here's Michi on what happened at the end of regulation.
I seen how they was guarding me. I was looking to shoot it from deep, honestly. But as soon as he started kind of pressing up on me, I tried to make a play and just lost track of time, honestly.
I always make analogies, and, you know, like anyone's parents, you always want your children to grow and learn. And as a coach, it's very similar. That's what you're focused on, is improving and learning and then growing. And so while there has been some of that, I think the pace at which some of the growth in some particular areas is happening, it would benefit us if some of that growth would happen a little quicker.
Yeah, it needs to happen here as they finish up their non-conference schedule, because when you get into the SEC schedule, that's going to be a murderer's row, so to speak. Okay, here's the trivia question. Why is the Stetson team nicknamed the Hatters? Anyone?
Ooh. Ella, you're the Florida girl. I'll let you take first guess.
Wow, what a
like,
pass.
She might know more about Stetson than me.
You know,
Wait.
my knowledge doesn't extend far in that department. The only thing I can think of,
You're not well
did they
versed
have
on
a
Stetson?
legendary soccer team at some point that scored? I don't know. I got
No. The school is named after Stetson. He was someone, I think, who gave them a lot of money, and he owned the Stetson Hat Company. And so they are named the Hatters
okay, yeah, that's not my
after
guess.
Stetson hats.
soccer hat
So-
tricks.
Okay, see, I didn't know
You
that.
know. What?
Yeah, I like Ella's theory though. That would be cool.
Thank you.
I was thinking like
feel
Mad
like I got-
Hatters, but that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, hey, a lot of people don't realize that. But the Gamecocks used to play them in basketball way back in the day in the 1970s when they were an independent, coached by Hall of Famer Frank McGuire. It's like Stetson, what's this school? And then you find that out about them. So, yeah, a little bit of knowledge that you can drop on someone. And
Yeah, the
I don't
more
know,
you know.
win a few trivia bets or something.
I love it.
Okay, how about the Gamecock women? One thing you got to like about this Gamecock team and Don Staley's teams over the years, she will go anywhere to play anyone at any time. Now, of course, last night's game with Virginia Tech was part of the ACC SEC Challenge, with Louisville, part of the ACC SEC Challenge. Louisville gave them a tough time. They're ranked 22nd. The Gamecocks are ranked 3rd. And South Carolina pulls it out 79-77. And Medina Oakcoat had a double-double. She's one of the new additions to the team, transfer in. And so as this team gels and they learn how to play in these pressure-packed situations against some great teams and just continue to pile up the W's, it's going to help them out come March when it's tournament time, especially in the NCAA tournament when you get to the Sweet 16. And if they're lucky enough to play in the Final Four, it's like they've already played teams capable of winning the national championship, and that will just give them much more confidence as they get ready to go into their SEC schedule. I think producer Nick is calling for a timeout. Is that correct? Yes. So we'll call our second timeout, and we'll be right back.
Super exciting news here in the upstate. The Furman Paladins are advancing to the Elite Eight of the NCAA tournament for men's soccer. This past weekend, they had an electric win over Hofstra up in New York. They came down here to Stone Stadium. We thought we had the win. I can say this as a Paladin, former graduate. A little bit of bias here. I'm going to take accountability. We thought we had it in the bag. We were up 3-1. There's 80 minutes left in this game. Hofstra comes back, scores 2 goals within 70 seconds of each other. They tie it up. We're in penalty kicks. The pressure was on. And you'll see this video right here of that last penalty kick where Furman sealed that win. This celebration was just absolutely phenomenal. And the icing on the cake of all of this is that it is Furman men's soccer head coach's last season, Doug Allison. He spent 31 years with the Paladins, and to be ending it like this has just been an emotional ride for these guys and an absolutely beautiful moment. I spoke with him just a couple days ago as they were boarding the bus, and he said, I feel like I'm in a Netflix documentary. So they are hitting the road, and they are playing tonight at 10 p.m. at Portland. Portland is number 8. The Dins are number 16. And here's what they had to say about this historic season and their excitement as they boarded the bus.
You know, seeing my wife run on and grab me, and my kids running on as well, which was awesome. But just so happy for our players. They've worked so hard for this. And it doesn't happen very often. You never know when it'll happen again, but right now it's just happening today. So really pleased for the guys.
It's incredible, especially for Doug's last year. We're just really excited to be sending him out this way. We're very happy with all the support we've been getting. I mean, we're just really grateful. This program is incredible, and we're very happy just to be doing this year.
Off this one, they'll be in the Final Four, which is obviously taking place in Cary, North Carolina. Best believe I'll be making that 4-hour drive out there for that one. If they make it, that'll tie the longest or furthest they have ever been in the NCAA tournament, so a lot of excitement for them. Crossing my fingers. Rick, we also have some other exciting things going on in soccer right now. It was the World Cup draw. The United States is obviously hosting, and we just figured out who we're going to be playing. I believe we got Australia, and I'm forgetting, is it Portugal? Is that the other one? Portugal. So very exciting stuff, but, are you guys going to be planning on attending over in Atlanta? I think that first one's going to be in California, but just to have it in the United States, it was quite the showing. Had a whole bunch of celebrities there, Tom Brady, Donald Trump, Heidi Klum. They brought out all the works.
Okay, what are the expectations for the U.S. team?
The United States is historically not great when it comes to the World Cup. Obviously, Clint Dempsey from the Furman Paladins did us a pretty good solid a couple years back in the World Cup. But other than that, historically, they're not the best, but having this home field advantage does carry a lot of weight.
I think this is supposed to be one of their better seasons, right?
Yeah, the World Cup, it will have my interest as long as the USA is in it and they have a shot. Once they're done, then I lose all interest. So hopefully they can make a big run and keep my attention. All right, we're going to take another break, and we'll be back with our locks of the week. Welcome back to Palmetto Sports Daily, and we're closing out the show on this final football Friday of the season with our locks of the week, college football. I'll start it off, and this is championship weekend. I'm looking at the SEC championship game, Georgia, Alabama. I am going with Georgia to take this one, and there's something about Georgia this season, and also with Alabama. They haven't really impressed me that much. I just think Georgia's been kind of sneaky good, and I like them to roll back the tide.
Well, to be fair, I was going to also pick Georgia, but Rick stole it first. So I'm going Virginia over the 5-loss Duke team in the ACC title game. I know I'm kind of following Kevin's footsteps here, going with the easy picks here, but to be fair, I had to make it known there that I was going to go Georgia. Julia Westerman wasn't happy with me picking them over Alabama, but you know what? Give me Virginia, and I told her, you know, she can use that for motivation. Ella, what you got?
I'm going the number 1 versus number 2, but it's a clear winner for me. OH is taking the win this Saturday. Ooh. Everyone says Ohio State hasn't been tested. Ohio State hasn't been tested. Listen, you're about to see a test that looks like they had all of the answers already to it. They have steamrolled these opponents who are less than them, and I think this is going to be a clear win for Ohio State.
And Summer, how can you say that I stole it first when I had it first? That means you were trying to steal it away from me.
No, I think you were sending side chats because I didn't see Rick's message, y'all. I didn't see his message. Nick had to tell me. Yeah,
I gave mine to producer Nick in person.
Don't throw me under this one.
Yeah.
See, you guys had some side stuff going on. Y'all didn't want me to know.
But Summer, I commend you for picking a real challenge instead of these super cupcakes that Kevin has picked all season long.
Yeah, you know,
30 and 40-point favorites.
There's a reason he's not on this show, I'm thinking. There's got to be a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, kick to the curb.
I could have gone like JMU. You know, I could have done that.
Yeah, but you didn't. You stood up and took a more challenging contest. I'm proud of you. Okay, that's going to wrap up this Football Friday. I hope everyone has a great weekend and that your team's a winner. We'll be back on Monday.
That's so nice.
So kind.